What up, 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 America? What's good with you? It's your boy Rod, it's your boy Don, it's Brooklyn Bears and Ball Sports Show. We are here again, ready to rock. We got a dope show for you today, but before we get into all the stuff we're about to break down from week 12, listen, we need you to smash that like button. We need you to subscribe. We need you to share. We need you to get up involved with these comments. Talk back to us. Let us know what you think of the show. Let me know how dope I am as far as beating Don on these debates and how I'm just thrashing him week after week in the picks and so forth and so on. We need to get your feedback. Yo, D, what up with you, bro?
What's going on? Let's start off by not getting the audience to lie, okay? Listen, I heard somebody tell me today that, yo, really? You've been taking a lot of L's. I promise. Somebody told me today, yo, your man, he's taking a lot of L's.
Taking L's.
So, as far as that whole dynamic, we'll leave it up to the audience. But, yo, I'm good, man. How's everything going?
Yo,
another exciting week 12 of NFL.
Yes, sir.
NBA we'll talk about on our next show. Once again, like, share, subscribe, Facebook and YouTube pages. We appreciate it very much. It'll be beneficial to us. We want to hear from you. I like the feedback that we've been getting.
Yes, sir.
People get really passionate about their sides, their takes on things that we've discussed.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, week 12 is just about done. All of the games that pique our curiosity and things that we're excited about has already transpired. Once again, the cream always rises to the top. And like I explained to you, you laughed and you laughed and it was a wasted segment. But I explained to you that we don't take any teams lightly because they're going to give, when you play a superior team, you're going to give your best shot possible. Now, the Cowboys don't really experience that a lot because they're playing teams that are better than them a lot of times. But when a team comes up against the 49ers, and because our offense, our defense is so superior, people play their hearts out. That is for a lot of teams, their Super Bowl or the closest chance they'll get to a championship caliber team as far as playing. So we did get the Saints played us really well. We'll start off with the 49ers and the Saints. Defense, 4 games. Nobody can score on us. 4 games. Yeah. And when you look at statistically what the 49ers are, all ones. This is a good time to be a 1, all right? I'm on 1, right? So we're on 1. We're ones down the board. Number 1 defense, points, you name it, we got it.
Yeah.
What did I say? I have been saying for the last couple of weeks, the great equalizer is what? Injuries.
Right.
And news came out that Elijah Mitchell, MCL sprain in the same knee that put him out for 6 weeks already. They're saying that initially they said it wasn't going to be as bad as they had first predicted.
Right.
News came out that he is looking to be out 6 to 8 weeks, which that's a tough blow to us.
Yep.
And then CMC was dealing with some thigh injury, but they said that they're going.
Ward? I saw Ward get hurt. Any news on him? Was that just a little nick?
That might have been just a nick. Nothing came out major as far as his injury.
Okay.
Of course, that took my all of my attention because the defense has been playing really well, obviously. But from an offensive standpoint, it is, like I said our last show, it is a good problem to have, to be so deep in so many positions and to have depth in these positions. But just like anything else, injury can change stuff. So We wish him a speedy recovery. Still playoff bound, and for us, we're going deep in the playoffs. So he will be back. He will be back, and he will play again this year. No problem. Now, if you were a Cowboy fan, that would be devastating. That would be devastating to, a Cowboy fan, because like, yo, are we gonna get out the first round? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna make? But for a team that is Super Bowl bound, okay, we'll just persevere. We'll next man up. I mean, we got Mason. We got we got some. One thing about the Niners, they know how to draft running backs. They know how to use them, and of course, okay, Debo. We will reinsert Debo back into that cipher of running, running back, wide receiver, whatever it takes, and so that was a kind of a downer, but I think we'll be okay. And we're coming for Miami, because Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson took shots at Jimmy G. Why do players feel like as soon as they go to another team that they feel like they got to take shots? Like Tyreek. My quarterback is the most accurate quarterback in the world. These guys took shots. We have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball. Listen, Raheem Mostert, let's be clear on this. Very, very talented. Speedster. He was his own problem, okay? He couldn't stay healthy. And if that was the case, if he was healthy, we would have never heard of Elijah Mitchell, right? He wouldn't have taken a prominent role. But because Raheem Mostert couldn't stay healthy, that was the reason why it gave opportunity. And then once he had an opportunity, Elijah Mitchell made the most of it. And okay, Jeff Wilson, come on. This is good. This is good. I'm glad they said something before we played, because they're going to have to back it up.
Yeah, that's
what do you say?
I love it. You know me. I'm all for the smoke, man. I love when these guys go at it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way it should be. You got to set the stage. And listen, former teammates, and you know how it goes. When a team lets you go, they trade you, they don't re-sign you, they cut you. But particularly in situations like you mentioned, Tyreek Hill, what Tyreek was saying, look, he knows at the end of the day, and Tua, we know, is playing great, right? No question about it. And I think he's going to be a little bit of a problem. Y'all got your hands full next week, but Tua's no Patrick Mahomes, right? But you got to say it because Tyreek's a little salty, because when a team lets you go or they don't re-sign you, what they're saying in essence is that we believe we can still win without you. We love to have you, but we can still win without you. So if we
Tyreek could have stayed. If he wanted, he could have stayed. He wanted the money.
He could have. He could have. But again, he definitely wanted the bread. And look, he's got a ring already, right? So exactly. I mean, he's not ring chasing. If his career ends today, he can call himself a Super Bowl champion, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, he definitely chased. No question. He went for the bag, and then I ain't mad at him for that. But again, these guys got to say what they got to say to set the stage. Listen, next week is going to be the game. All right, that's the game of the week as far as I'm concerned. All right, it's a great matchup there. The Dolphins defense is playing good. It's decent. I still think there's so much creativity on the San Francisco Niners offensive side of the ball. I think they really do. Again, Shanahan knows how to put these guys in position, because he's created an environment and a culture offensively where there's not just one star, right? You just went through the whole plethora of guys that you guys have. So, I mean, I like that. I think it's good. Look, the Niners, and again, I'm not some lofty Cowboy fan. I will tell you now, and any Cowboy fan that got sense, we don't want to see the Niners. We didn't want to see them last year. In fact, we would have avoided the Niners if we didn't take bad L's last year. When we lost to the Raiders on Thanksgiving, we lost to Denver last year, we lost to Arizona. Those three games, not to mention we weren't playing well, Dak in particular, going into the playoffs. And I told everybody, Dallas was going to lose that game because of the way we were playing. So the Niners definitely not the team that people want to see. No question. Listen, it don't take nothing away from me, because we still got 5 Super Bowls. Y'all only got 4. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't take anything away from me. I always got to look at the big.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
I mean, rings y'all
That's
got?
Fake news. That's fake news. Oh, 5. We have 5. We have 5.
I forgot about Steve Young.
Okay, that's fake news.
Yes.
Okay, so let's be clear.
Well, y'all haven't won since 94, and we haven't won since 95. So y'all technically have gone longer on your drop than we have. But I'm gonna take my shots because I gotta take my shots. But let me tell you this though. That game yesterday, like you said, you don't take anybody for granted. The Saints got a really good defense, by the way. So the thing is that I thought that game, I wouldn't say it was telling. I think it's the typical 49er way of doing things because y'all are a gritty team. You play tough, you play hard. There's a lot of physicality there with the 49ers. Listen, if the Saints got a halfway decent quarterback, maybe they can kind of pull out that game. You got away with the pick there with Jimmy G on the penalty there. I still think Jimmy G is that guy that can still hold y'all back at some place and at some point during this run. So, but like I said, it's going to be a good game even next week. I know we're going to talk more about the previews later in the week in our next shows, but good win. I told you it was going to beat the Saints. Come on, the Saints, it was nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but we didn't, even if they had a better quarterback, they wouldn't have pulled it out. Look, you see what we did to Alvin Kamara? You see that we caused him to fumble the ball twice? I mean, man.
Yeah, talk about number one. Y'all rank number one. No doubt. Y'all rock. I can't. Right now, the 49ers are the team. I think right now, if you're going to go by recent weeks of play and the fact that a lot of you guys are healthy again, the Winers are probably right now the best team in the NFC. I would say that. Yes.
You heard it here first from a Cowboys fan.
I said it from a Cowboy fan. I mean, again, don't take nothing away from us, though.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No. You know what I'm trying to say?
And the way it's shaping up, I want to give the Raiders a shout out real quick. Thank you, Raiders.
Yeah,
they handle business.
Yeah,
no, not lucky because
I'm just saying, it makes it
we already beat Seattle, right? When Geno was looking good and nobody was writing back and he wrote and they didn't write him back, we came and we made Geno look like Geno, like West Virginia Geno, right? So it's not a problem. But I think it just makes our road easier because at the end of the day, we won a division, right? That's how it goes. We got to win the division first, host the playoff game.
Yeah.
And what you guys better work hard on is not coming to see us. Because if you come,
I think we would love to come to San Francisco.
I don't think so.
Y'all in San Francisco than in Dallas. To be honest with you, Dallas is actually a better road team.
Well, you guys have no chance of winning your division. You have no chance. So
no, we have a chance. Listen, we're only 2 games behind. If we sweep these next 3 games and the Eagles lose just 1 game in the next 3 weeks, provided Dallas wins the next 3 games against the AFC
But you play
South,
the Eagles again.
We do, right? And then then we can go ahead and have a game with them. We could split with them, and then we'll just see how the rest of the way go. I gotta see.
I still don't think you'll win because
better NFC record than them.
Their division, their division record would be better than yours if they're 10-1, right?
Well, no, but what I'm saying is there's still 2 games. We're only 2 games behind them. So if they lose a game, right, and then we beat them when we play them, now we're tied. And so then at that point, we still have a better NFC East record than them because they lost to the Redskins already. We swept the Giants. We beat Washington already.
Commanded.
They lose to the Eagles, but we would split with them. And then we just got to see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, so
the next 3 games you got that. That's done.
I'm not saying we got it, but we should win.
You hear that, Jonathan Taylor? You hear that, Nutso? Yeah. I want you to talk past Matt Ryan. You hear that, Nutso? He thinks he owes me. He thinks he won. Okay, perfect. It's going to be good. Jonathan Taylor, he is going to, man, it's going to be lovely next week. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on, man.
I can't.
Okay, let's go to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Man, Tampa Bay is holding on.
Yo, I hope they got that, D. I hope our fans out there understand the culture when we talk about it.
They have to be a certain age to get it, right? They have to be a certain age to get it. But if they watched Above the Rim, they should be. It's Above the Rim reference.
Tupac, Leon,
right. Okay, so Tampa Bay, listen. Good. I'm glad that Tampa Bay still winning their division, which is 4-6, right?
Yeah.
Or I think they're 4-6.
Yeah.
I don't want
5-7. I think they are
5-7. Okay.
Yeah.
Atlanta lost. That they helped them out.
5-6.
5-6.
Right.
Atlanta lost, and that helped them out. we're both clear on the fact that no matter what, the NFL is going to work whatever they got to work to make sure that Tom Brady makes the playoffs in his last year. Because clearly this is his last year.
Yeah,
This is his swan song. So the NFL, just like the NBA, is better when LeBron is playing in the playoffs, whether he's a play-in team or not.
Right.
The NFL is a better league when Tom Brady's in it because everyone thinks he'll work a miracle, but he just doesn't have it anymore. Like, people are talking about Mike Evans, and see, the blame game happens, right? Nobody really wants to, out of respect for the longevity and the success of his career, nobody wants to blame Tom Brady, but he is the reason for a lot of the dysfunction, a lot the way the offense isn't working, because the defense overall has been playing really well.
Yeah, they have. Absolutely.
Enough to win, and it's Tom Brady that's not coming to the table and bringing, his usual skill set that we come to expect.
Right.
What do you say about that?
Well, I think the problem is with Brady is there's no run game. Again, Brady, he lacks a run game. So when you have to depend on a 45-year-old arm, and even though that arm has won 7 Super Bowl rings and a stellar career and it's got every record imaginable in the NFL, at this stage of your career, and just in your stage of any success, right? You look at Tom Brady through his career. In the early years of his championships, he had a defense, right? And then he had some good tight ends. And then, again, still had some very good defense, for most of his career. So, and then, of course, having Bill Belichick helps, right? But right now, there's no running game. They can't run the ball. And so when you can't run the ball, now you become one-dimensional. And it puts a lot more pressure on Brady. And we know Brady's a statuette back there in the pocket. He can't scramble, can't get out. Receivers can't get open. You had about 9 targets there for Evans yesterday, and he only completed 2 passes to him. So, it's tough. It's a tough thing. And look, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, you got to be okay with what Tom Brady came and did for your city and your team. First year there, they win a chip. You get to the playoffs. You ran deep into the playoffs last year. And I still think they'll win the division, like you said, right? I mean, they won't go anywhere. But again, D, we got to always keep that little glimmer of that scintilla of hope, because, again, when I say hope, I mean it for the Buccaneers fans, right? Don't matter to you and I. We want to see Brady fail. But at the end of the day, he's still Tom Brady, right? Something, somehow, some way, with a little bit of help from the powers that be, if you will, right? You know what I'm saying? Donspiracy. So I think what will happen is, they still may pull out at least the playoff game if it's meant to be so. But I think the Buccaneers, it's not a good look. That was a bad loss for them yesterday. They really did need to win that one. But seeing the Falcons get heartbroken again too, that helps them.
Well, potentially, if you guys don't win the division, because if Jalen Hurts and they drop 2 and then you carry the 1, it's a lot of ifs. If you guys don't win the division, you're going to face us or Tampa Bay. Now, which would you prefer? If you're going to be honest, who would you prefer to face?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be very honest. Always, again, you would want to see Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay beat us in the first game of the first week of the season. 19
different Tampa Bay now. That is a different Tampa Bay.
That was going to be my point. Yeah, they're not the same team anymore, and they didn't even they didn't look good then. I mean, it was 19-3. Our offense really, Dallas didn't look good. Dallas was playing very bad. Offensively, we're bad. Dak was bad, extremely rusty. We didn't look good at all. We held them down for the most part, but they did run the ball on us in that game. And I talk about the running game and the lack thereof for the Buccaneers, but they did run very well in week 1 with Leonard Fournette. But I would definitely rather play the Buccaneers. I mean, yeah, I definitely think we can beat them. We can go into Tampa and win that game. I think we can, unless they get help from the powers that be, of course. But, that's when Jerry comes in and Jerry says, listen,
check cleared, right?
Cash.
That's right.
You want to see Dallas in this thing a little bit more, right? So, but really, I said it before, I say it again, and I have no problem saying it. I don't want to see the 49ers, but but if we do have to see y'all, then we do what we got to do. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah,
okay.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to take a trip out there and come into your living room so I can gloat if we win.
Sounds good. Okay, let's talk about Green Bay and the Eagles.
Yeah,
the top of the let's talk about the Eagles, the top of the NFC East. They're looking down on Dallas. looking down on Dallas, right?
Oh boy.
And
Yeah.
and the rest of the NFC for
I
that
mean,
matter.
yeah,
To be
but they're
said,
okay. They're okay. They're not a great team. They're beatable. They're not scaring anybody. They can't
I'm
stop
not.
the run. So, but yeah, but go ahead.
That sounds like another team.
That
You
sounds like truth. Oh, and it
sounds
sounds like
like
another
another.
team.
No, I can't
Well,
stop the run, D. But
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But in any case, I think although um, Hertz and Sanders, right? Miles Sanders, yeah,
Sanders, yep, Miles Sanders.
they were impressive. Almost 300 yards or over three,
Yeah,
a little bit over
they were.
300 between
They were.
both of them. Not
Mhm.
impressed. I'll be honest with you. And there's no hate. I'm just not impressed. I think that can be shut down, right? Because Jalen Hurts, when he only threw for I think 150 yards, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So when you and I'm not saying Jimmy G is going to be this, quarterback that's he's going to have to compete with, but let's just say they represent
Right.
the NFC, right?
Right.
Who would you have to face? Let's just say you have to face Mahomes. Let's say you have to face Josh Allen. Let's say you might have to face Joe Burrow. That 150 yards ain't going to work. That will not be enough. So
Correct.
I think overall it was you beat up on Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers obliques was on fire, right? So listen,
Right.
he's twisting and kind of slowly trying to. So you saw a little bit of Jordan Love, who actually looked pretty good. But of course, it's
Yeah.
easy to come into the game. There's no expectations. You
Right.
get to just throw the ball around.
Right.
And they were playing they weren't playing tight D. They were just playing like a prevent to stop. They didn't want anyone to get over the top, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
they weren't playing the toughest D that maybe Aaron Rodgers seen earlier on in the game.
No.
So overall, I think the Eagles are 10-1, right? We got to
Yeah.
respect them for that. They're probably on course to have a first round bye. They're
Mhm.
probably on course, obviously, to host the playoffs or host home field advantage throughout. They're on pace for that, and that can happen. But I think overall, if I have to be honest, AJ Brown ain't looking like the AJ Brown
That was a
that
bad fumble. That was a crazy
he's
fumble he
he's
had.
not
Yeah.
right. He's not looking as good
Mhm.
as he had been, and maybe it's just a off game. But over the last couple of weeks, AJ Brown hasn't been balling out like that
No.
dominant number one receiver.
Mm-mm.
Because if you think about it, Devontae Smith over the last two games has been more consistent.
Yeah.
And AJ Brown is we know, no doubt about it. He's the man on that team. He's
No
he's
question.
the player. They will go as far as
They
he
get Goddard
takes
back
them.
too soon. Yeah.
You get who?
They get Goddard back too
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
some point.
yeah.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. But then will there be rust on him or what, like how is
Mhm.
he gonna come back? So yeah, they're gonna get pieces back, which
Yep.
they missed that tight end. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
a key piece because it's a little, it gives Jalen a little dump off if it
Right.
gets too tight. But it seems like he's kind of reverting back to legs first, pass later. That's
Right.
just my observation. What do you say?
No, I say that. I think that's the thing. I think they want to use his legs a little bit more, and they like when he runs. The RPOs are deadly with that team because Sanders is such a threat as well as Hurts, and so it does become a little sticky, and especially when you can't set that edge and you over pursue. That's a team you gotta play with, in my opinion, with some spying. You gotta be disciplined in your gaps because there's a lot of cutback, a lot of movement. You actually want Hurts to throw the ball. You stand a better chance if he throws and not have to run the way he runs right now. So I think, that's what you want to try your best to put him in. I think you got to make your first and second downs against that team a lot more difficult. You got to get them in some third down situations where they kind of maybe third and four kind of situation where they're going to have to throw the football if you can. It's hard. But, again, I think that team defensively outside of their back side, I think you can do some things. I think, again, their front is good, but their linebackers are decent. But you can run against this team. You really can. And I think with my team, with Pollard and Zeke, and again, Dak owns the Eagles. He's owned them since he's come into the league, okay? So he has no fear at all against the Eagles. I don't care what their record says or shows or what they display. Dak owns the Eagles. So again, and that was with more so with Amari Cooper, but I still think he'll own them even with the core receivers we have right now. So I'm not really concerned. I mean, yes, I respect them. They're a good team, but they're not scaring anybody. Okay, even the Whiners can beat them. Okay, they're not scaring anybody.
What do you mean? Even the
they're
Whiners?
Not. Yeah.
What do
yeah.
what do you mean by that? Listen,
even the Whiners can beat them because it's not about their record. Their record doesn't, and look, they're getting closer and closer to losing. Again, they could have lost that game even last night. I mean, you were up 14. Packers came back. Again, same thing with Dallas.
Tied it up. 2020 missed the extra point.
Right, that's right.
That would have put them over the top. Right.
Tied the game. That's correct. Yeah. Right. When they missed the extra point. But again, this team is nothing. They're not scary. They're a good team. Hurts is having a great year. Don't get me wrong. You mentioned all the things about the receiving core. No question. AJ is good. You know what I'm saying? Devontae is good. But at the end of the day, they're a team that can be beat. Okay, you can get this team rattled, and you just got to keep them off the field, the offense that is. And I think if you run the ball, you can definitely beat them. I think the Cowboys and the Whiners are the teams that could easily beat the Niners in the playoffs. No question about it. I definitely think so.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting how it goes down the stretch. Christmas Eve, you guys play them, right? That's going to be a big game.
Oh, big game. Big game.
It's going to be a really big game, and it's going to be a lot on the line because you think the next, you guys are about to run off a couple of victories, right? And they should be favored in pretty much all of their games, right? So somebody's wrong. Somebody's going to be wrong on Christmas Eve, right? Someone's going to get a lump of coal under their tree. Everyone's not going to get a W, right? So someone has to lose.
Somebody's got to take that L. That's right.
Someone has to take that L.
So it ain't going to be us.
It should be very interesting. I thought you said you were a better road team.
No, we are. But I mean, we still
there goes that argument, right? That's down the drain.
No, I mean in the playoffs though, I think we would do better on the road. I just really do. I think there's less pressure on the road for Dallas when they play on the road. Even though we won our playoff games since we won our last Super Bowl, obviously they were all home games. Twice against Seattle. That was the 2 games that we won, and we beat them at home. You know what I'm saying? So no, Detroit and Seattle. My apologies. Detroit with Romo, and then Seattle with Dak back in 2020. So
it was so long ago.
2019.
That was so long ago. I mean, pre-COVID. That was pre-COVID. We didn't even know. That's a long time ago.
It was pre-COVID. Look, you.
Last time y'all won a playoff game, nobody was wearing masks. Okay, that's a long time ago. But let's talk about one thing before we go.
Yeah.
What is up with? We're on the Odell Beckham watch. That man is on the plane going in and out of consciousness. Perfect for Dallas. He's a perfect receiver, in and out of consciousness. Is he going to the Cowboys, or do you think another team is going to snatch him?
Well, I say this. I hope when they negotiate, he's unconscious. He's not, and just signs a contract for $1. Like $1. That's
right. Exactly.
Wake up. We're gonna make sure we fly in Jerry's private at the time when we do the deal. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
So now I'm gonna be honest with you, D, and look, having Odell Beckham is it's a good thing, but at the same time, I'm a little concerned. I think I said this before on the show, and I have to go back because I always like to stay consistent to this. But I think the thing with OBJ, I'm concerned about what they want to sign him at. He lost some endorsements, so he's trying to pull a lot of that money back. And if he's looking for $20 million a year, again, I say we can't do that. We got Parsons, we got
won't get
Diggs.
that.
Yeah, he's not going to get that. And again, and I know you brought up the point before, when you're negotiating, you always you highball it because there's a number obviously in your mind that you're going to settle at. I don't think he's worth even $15 million. And he wants a long term, right? He wants multiple years, not a long term. But I'm thinking he's looking for at least 3 years. If I'm Dallas, I would pay him for the remainder of this year, give him $12 million next year guaranteed, and then the third year, that's it. It's a player option. We decide whether we can cut him or do whatever we can do and see how that looks against the cap. I'm just concerned about the money. Odell is not the player he used to be. And I'll be honest, what happened the other day, Yeah, I mean, is it a crazy thing? But my whole thing is, why are you on a commercial flight? Like, I don't get that. Why are you on a commercial flight? I mean, you shouldn't be flying
It's
commercial to begin with.
expensive out there, man. I mean, listen.
Well, I mean, you got 100 something. I mean, you don't amass at least $150 million in your career. So I mean, somebody can get you on a plane. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but no, I don't think any. But you know what? I'll say this just real quick to answer your question. I don't think Odell wants to play at a cold weather team. So I don't think he's going to go to Buffalo. I don't think he's going to go to New York. I just don't think he wants to play with a cold weather team. And I don't think those teams would really want him because at the end of the day, they don't need him. Even with the Rams, not to say that they didn't need him, although he played well for them. Obviously, we saw that. But I don't think nobody needs him for what they're going to get him at. I just don't think him. Remember, the Rams had him on a rental, so it made sense for them to do it. But to sign him when you can get him for whatever works in the benefit of the team cap, then I think, you can make that decision and say, do I really need him at this amount? I could really just let him walk because only one that's going to sign him is a competitor anyway or contender for a Super Bowl. And do you really need OBJ? Is he really going to take your team over the top? I don't know. And I don't know if he'll even do that with Dallas because we don't even know what he looks like physically. So I don't know. I'm not. It don't matter either way to me. I just don't want to get him for a lot of money. Just don't hurt.
Well, everything is going to be pending a physical, right? So,
Right.
I think he's going to have to. I mean, he brings to the table, of course, from a business standpoint, right? Because we agree that Jerry Jones is about business, right? From a
Yep.
business standpoint,
Absolutely.
he
Absolutely.
brings a lot to the table as far as potential marketing and what he can make jersey
Sure.
sales, merchandising, all of that stuff is beneficial. And so Jerry
Right.
Jones can offset the payment of Odell by the potential money he will make from just the Odell Beckham mystique, right? So I don't think that is a terrible idea. But what I do want to, what I do think about is the fact that you guys need Odell more than he needs you. And the reason why I say that is because you have a number one receiver, but he is not consistent enough, right?
Right.
His life, CeeDee Lamb's life would be so much easier because nobody doubles. If you're going to put attention on
Noah Brown, yeah,
right, exactly. If you're going to put attention on the Dallas receiver, everyone will probably at this point double CeeDee Lamb, right? But now that was the benefit of when Odell went to the Rams. Everybody was already trying to double Cooper Kupp and trying to stop Cooper Kupp, and Odell could eat, because he's still immensely talented.
Yeah, he is.
So I think he would bring that same kind of attention to the Dallas Cowboys. So now you have to account for both of them. You have to account for CeeDee. His life would be easier if you think he is indeed a number one receiver. He would benefit greatly from that. And then of course, if they focus on Odell, he's eating, and if they focus on CeeDee, well, Odell is good enough to, if you give him your, second or third, and then of course it trickles down. So Gallup would benefit, right? Because Gallup may not be getting your second corner, he may be getting your third, right? So he may be, so you would benefit from Odell. And realistically speaking, with the injuries and all of that stuff, I don't think Odell Beckham, he's going to ask for market rate. I mean, not Devontae Adams market rate, but he's going to, because we're already going into week 13. So realistically, how much could he ask for? It's pretty much the next year is probably the bulk of the guaranteed money, provided he doesn't end this season once he signs with an injury. I think the bulk would be next year and perhaps the year after, which I think he would be at like 32 by then, because I think he just turned 30.
He's 30 right now. Right. No, I agree with you.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think all your points is valid. I agree. I mean, on the surface, schematically, his presence on the field, the attention he will draw, it would certainly make our receiving room a lot more better, right? There's no doubt about that. But again, I'm still just concerned about any kind of money that you're going to tie up into him and what you're willing to pay him when you look at the long term. Because again, he's going to want at least 3 years. I'm assuming at minimum. You got Pollard, who's a free agent next year. You got to sign him, or at the minimum, you're gonna have to franchise tag him, right? You still got CD coming up, you got Diggs coming up, you got Parsons you're gonna need to pay. And the thing is, you don't want to get those guys into a situation like what you had with Dak in the whole nine, with that whole thing going on. It becomes real messy, right? And what happens is Jerry's going to end up overpaying like he did for Dak because, again, he took too long. So I think the thing is, when you look at the core of your team, OBJ is not the core of anything. He's an addition. So you got to be careful what you spend as far as an addition is concerned. And the situation, again, he's a free agent. You got an opportunity to kind of lowball him. And look, end of the day, like you said, you might say, hey, OBJ, Dallas needs him more than he needs Dallas. But I don't know. That may not be totally true because I don't think anybody's really like, oh, my God, I got to get Odell Beckham. I really don't think any team out there is like that. Again, Buffalo. Who are the other teams out there that was
people were talking about Kansas City. Now, if he goes to Kansas City, you guys got to kick yourself, right? I know that the Niners aren't in the market for him because – we have a pretty good receiving core, but out of the teams, I mean, that's I'm just
on the ball. That's it. But yeah,
okay. But out of the teams that were in the Odell Beckham market, you guys should really push for that because
we should.
You really should push. You shouldn't. Yeah. Jerry Jones shouldn't sit on his hands and just think, the allure of the star is going to be good enough. It's not. It's not good enough. I think you're going to have to pay something, but Jerry Jones said, I didn't say it. You didn't say it. Jerry Jones said, you have no idea. I'm paraphrasing. You have no idea
I heard the interview.
What check I would write to win a Super Bowl. And that check, those payments are probably going to referees right now. Those different payments, when you hear you see those bogus calls, the checks are clearing, but it's just not equating to a Super Bowl.
Well, Jerry obviously ain't paying enough because
he's not paying enough.
95, so
right, exactly.
Somebody's returning his checks.
Right, they come back void. Right,
they come back void. Right, exactly.
They return void. Right.
But I'll say this though, real quick though, D. You brought out Kansas City, and then we talked about Buffalo, right? Which again, AFC competitor. So we wouldn't see an Odell Beckham until the Super Bowl. But even if you think about it, right, having Odell on Kansas City, how much of a difference is he going to make with such a plethora of receivers and talent that they have? In other words, I don't see him making that much of a difference. Again, he with Buffalo with Gabe and Stephon over there. I don't see him really making a major difference to those teams. Now, Dallas, he would make a major difference to your points because I think you brought out all the good points why he would be effective in Dallas. But I just don't, again, I don't see where it would benefit us from that fiscal standpoint, unless Jerry just does it for the allure, which we know he's prone to do, and the whole marketing thing. And it would be great for him to be there, but you gotta still think long term. And if he does go to another team, look, if he goes to an AFC team, that's more power to them. We won't really care. We'll worry about it when we get to the Super Bowl and we have to play them. That's all.
Let me tell you,
we beat the Niners in a championship
that
game,
makes so much sense. That makes sense. You guys don't see yourselves. Your vision board does not show you in the Super Bowl. That's the problem. If he goes to an AFC team and you wind up, our destination is the Super Bowl. So any place that Odell would end up, whether it's NFC or AFC, we have to concern ourselves with because we will potentially see them in the Super Bowl. But when you don't see yourself there, that makes so much sense that you don't care because realistically, you don't see yourself advancing to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship, NFC Championship game, any of that stuff. So it makes sense. For us, if he goes to Kansas City, they don't need him, but that makes all of their other makes Kelsey's job easier. It makes
easy right now.
Juju's job easier.
How much easier can it get for him?
I know, but hey, listen, you could say the same thing about Cooper Kupp, right? He was everyone would say he's the only person you have to stop, but yet they couldn't stop him. And then once Odell got there, it just made it that much easier.
Oh, it definitely did. Did. But remember, he was a rental, so it worked for them. I don't think they would have signed Odell if it was a situation like what we got this year. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing
So,
I
all right. So, quick question.
Mhm.
If he wants a long-term deal, right? And would Jerry Jones say, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to give you a long-term deal, but I'll give you 20 million for 1 year."
That's cool.
Does
I'm
it
good
make
with that.
sense to just say, "Hey, I'm putting everything." If
Yeah.
if if Jerry
Oh,
Jones
yeah,
says this is the
definitely.
most talented
Absolutely.
team I've seen, I don't care about Michael Irvin, and he talks about I don't care about all the teams that actually won me rings. This is the
Actually won a
most
Super
talented team.
Bowl.
He says that every year. This is
Every
the
year.
most talented team.
Yeah.
So would
You
he
gotta
push all his chips in and say, "Hey, you know what, Odell? I think you're the piece that will bring us over the top.
yeah.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm
Yeah.
going to say, hey, we'll pay you
Absolutely.
20 million, or we'll pay
Absolutely.
you 15 million for the balance of this season because
Sure.
you're that missing piece."
Yeah.
Only time will tell if he does that.
No, I agree. No, I
I don't
agree.
think
If
he
it goes
will.
that way, then you do. We do what y'all did with Dion. You got him for a year. You paid him all that money, and he won you a Super Bowl, right? So at least
Yeah.
helped you win one. And then and Dallas, did the long term, and he got us a chip. So
You get what you
it
pay
worked.
for in most things, and more often than not, you get what you pay for.
I agree. I
Quality.
totally agree.
If you think that he's a quality player and you don't think he's past his prime, you got to pay him his due, his hire, whatever his hire is. You got to pay him.
Every player is worthy of their
Every player is worthy of their hire. But listen,
Yep.
I can't wait till next show, man.
Yo.
You'll be in the building, right?
The
And
building,
we're
bro.
gonna talk football. We're gonna talk the Niners. We're gonna talk Niners Miami. We're gonna talk some NBA. We're gonna talk about LeBron. We're gonna talk about your boy getting his face split down the middle. We're gonna talk all that. I mean, blood was
Russ,
everywhere. Russ,
everywhere.
there was blood everywhere.
I
And
mean,
then
it was just crazy.
I mean,
How did where all that blood come from? I just didn't understand it. I was
it looked like an old fake wrestling on Saturday.
Right,
It was like he had a blood pill. He was biting it and blood gushing everywhere. Like, I was like, come on, Russ.
like what?
Come on
Right.
now. Come on
He's
now.
going
You
all
I think
crazy,
you
like,
faking that blood. That ain't real.
Right.
That's some old. He looked like Carrie from, remember Carrie? They all
Yeah,
gonna
the
laugh at
horror
you.
movie,
I
right.
mean, blood was everywhere. I'm like, come on, that dude didn't do that to you.
I'm
I
like,
mean, you're just trying to get attention now. Oh no, his head really got split, and but it didn't look when his hand came down.
right.
It didn't look like it was it didn't seem like it was a hard enough direct
Right.
hit that it would
did
split
not.
somebody.
It did
But
not.
hey, man,
not.
listen.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see Sean McVay get his jaw almost taped? Yo, that was one of the. That's when you know your season's over. Your season's over. When your head almost comes off, it's over. That was it. Like, yo, pack it up. He almost hit his head, and yo, right. We got so much to talk about later this week, man. We're gonna have some fun. It might be a 3-hour show. Nobody will watch it, but we're gonna have so many laughs.
Yeah.
But yo, McVay's jaw was
headset flipping off. He was like,
yeah, that was. I mean, and then
I
of
laughed
course,
so hard, bro.
Allen, right? Was it Allen? Yeah,
Who that hit him?
the receiver. No.
Oh.
He has. They're talking about Aaron Donald high ankle sprain.
Oh, Aaron Donald.
And then you got the receiver Allen that they just got. He has season-ending foot
Allen
surgery.
Robinson. Yeah,
Allen Robinson. So it's
yeah.
like, yo, it's just.
Oh, it's a wrap. Yeah, that
over.
that right there was the sign. The hit to
It's
the
over.
jaw. That was that tap right there said it all. Yeah. It's a wrap.
But once again, it was a pleasure hosting the show with you. Once again, please like, share, subscribe. We like to thank Infinite Audio for the music, Infinite Audio for the music, and Kingdom Creative for the production. Without the production, the music, without the personalities, the whole mix would not work. We couldn't do it without you guys. Until next time, we appreciate it. Peace.